Hello, cherished duckling. It's great to see you. I can't see with my eyes, but I can see with my heart. And we're going to do two things the first 3 minutes of the show. One is, I have never thanked all my fantastic viewers. And apparently, there's tons more every week. So I'm so grateful, because if you find this show, if you call in, or even just listening or watching, it is exactly what you need to hear at this time in this way. If you call in, it's exactly the right moment, and you'll get, even though I'm a little straightforward sometimes, but you'll get exactly what you need to hear. And so I'm going to do a little makeup tutorial, because it just seemed like a fun thing to do. And I'm going to sing a little thank you song. And it goes like this. Okay. You were meant for me. I was meant for you. You opened heaven's portal, make life sweeter for this mere mortal. And you were meant for me and me for you. So thank you, guys. I get the best people in the world in this show, always. So I am going to do a bit of a makeup tutorial, and then we're going to move on, because as some of you do, I caretake my elderly mother. And sometimes, since this is a live show, sometimes she needs a little extra help right before I go on. And if I have to choose between mom and makeup, I will. And this will be very quick. For those of you who might feel 20 inside, but maybe you've gone a little past that mark, as I have, I'm just going to show you a couple of quick tricks that will take 10 years off, both of us. So that's 20 years off. What you want to do here is you want to make everything go up. So you want to do this is a curling mascara, and you want to have the ends of your lashes go up. There you go, much better. I want to do that on the other side. You're trying to look a little young. We just came into Pisces season, and Pisces people are eternally youthful. Pisces season started on the 19th, so happy birthday to all my powerful Pisces friends. Funny, in astrology, Pisces women tend to be a little stronger than Pisces men. And Pisces men are so charming. They could talk you into anything, and usually do. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm taking a very nice Kevin Aucoin blush brush that Courtney Love gave me. And I'm using a combination blush and highlighter right on my cheekbones. Even if you don't think you have cheekbones, you do. So again, we're going up, up, up. Up is the name of the game if you're a woman of wisdom. I always say that instead of older, I like people to say more spectacular. And as you know, I'm pretty spectacular. And so are you. Probably more than me, frankly, because you probably opened this lipstick. I like to use a bright lipstick for when I haven't had, when I've been pulling long, like off the floor, and don't have time to do a full eye. So this is a perfect neutral. It works on every color. It's from Shine, Shein, and the color is, I'll tell you at the end of the show. So what you want to do is just make sure your Cupid's bow on both sides are even, as they are. And that takes a little bit of attention away from the eyes. Also matches my poppy. And one last thing I'm just going to show you in the tutorial, and then we're going to get to the tarot weather for the week. So you want to put, if you're over, say, 35, you want to put, oh, there it is. I knew it was there. You want to put a light shadow on your lids. And here's the makeup artist trick that nobody will ever tell you. You want to put it inside here because you never want to put anything dark right here because, for this I'm using a white shadow, because one of the first signs of aging is shadows here. So if you're doing aging makeup, you put shadows here, but if you want to look younger, or at least wide awake, put them there. Now, the last thing is, if you're, say, over 35, there's a little bit of fat right there, right? Okay, so we're going to cover that and then go straight up and up in one swoop, okay? Already, I'm 25 and gaining backward there. If you have blue eyes, use the opposite color, so I'm using sort of an orange tint. If you have green eyes, use a purple shade. And ta-da! The last thing we're supposed to do is use, this is Airspun, is the best powder for making you look very, very, very non-shiny, but also not caking you. Airspun was invented by the studios in 1925. You opened heaven's portal. There we go. We're just about to get to the tarot weather, and this is the time to call in if you want a really accurate reading. Ta-da! So thank you for being patient. There we go. The psychic weather is a combination, is 3 cards for the next week. And it's what you can expect sort of in your own self and around you, and maybe in the bigger world. It's just kind of the weather for this week, except I love making this joke. It doesn't damage crops. Okay, ready? I'm going to pull 3 cards totally randomly. And if you know me, you know that random is not just a word, it's a way of life. Okay. So I have no idea what these are going to be. Oh, that's interesting. This is a kind of stay-at-home card. There. Thank you. It's also a card of, if it was right side up, it would be a card of taking short journeys. But right now it's saying, don't travel, and it's right. But it's also saying any problem you want to run away from or escape into alcohol, drugs, loose women, loose men, loose llamas, loose other. Might be a good time to recognize that impulse and just stop yourself. Okay. Because this is the week of Pisces, the Hanged Man means it's a great time to kind of meditate and really start to make profound internal changes. Because when it comes right down to it, if we look to other people to supply our happiness, it's best to find our own happiness first, and that way we attract people and attract what we need. It's sort of like, you know, if you're a little kid in a beach, I'm going to put this down for a second. If you're a little kid in a beach and you want the other kids to play with you and build a sandcastle with you, if you go up to each of them and don't know them and are like, will you build a sandcastle with me? They'll be like, no, freak. But if you sit down and start to build like a really good sandcastle beyond what you thought you could do, all the other kids will start creeping in, and then you'll have a whole crowd of people wanting to play with you. So it's kind of like that. Build your own sandcastle. What is the 3rd card here? So the beginning of the week, I just pulled a tarot card from a tarot I haven't learned yet. Okay. The last tarot is be patient. And it looks like everything's come to a standstill. Not so. Spring and getting out of lockdown are just around the corner. Please wear masks until then. The 2 of Wands is, it's like this guy has sailed all of his ships laden with gold out into the harbor. They've disappeared off the horizon. This is like, what, the 15th century we're looking at here? He doesn't know if if the world is flat. He just doesn't know if they're vanished forever, or if that new guy Columbus was right and the world is round. What this means is good news, the world is round, and those ships are coming back with everything you want. It's just very hard sometimes right now to remember that our plans and dreams don't stop growing when life shuts down around us, especially if you take a few minutes every day to meditate or breathe or pray, whatever works for you. Find your inner happiness and peace, because it all begins with you. Okay, now my cherished ducklings. Somebody just called and we lost her. So whoever's next up in line. Oh, Angela, I'm so sorry. I love that name. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. What a great voice you have. It sounds like a glamorous 50s star.
I can barely hear. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Try this.
I think it's my phone.
I said, okay, I'm going to turn this up. There we go. I said, you sound like a glamorous 50s starlet. Anyway, I will talk up, and I like to connect to people by asking when their birthday is. So, Milla, when is your birthday? Just the name, date.
March 24th, 83.
Oh, cool. Next show, next week, is going to be about the Chinese astrology. But let's see, 1983. Anyway, I know you're Aries. By the end of this, I'll figure out what year you are. It's hard to do math and make up and read and sing at the same time. So I'm just going to concentrate you. And you are ambitious. Do you know that about yourself?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
I didn't hear that last part. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. I think it's your end, but we're going to forge ahead. I said, You are ambitious. You know that about yourself, because I'm not totally sure you do. You're very driven. You're somebody who has big dreams, and you might have thought they were too big and given up, but you still have big dreams, and you should. You're gifted in a bunch of different ways. Would that ring true to you? Do you feel like you might have an ambitious Angela inside you?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely ambitious. I can be.
Yeah, good. Oh, look, I must have known you were called because I'm wearing an Aries color here. And your question, well, you have a lot of questions. I can't tell if this one is about where to go next or about your love life. So help me out here. Grab my ginger up. Okay, darling.
If I don't
hear me,
it's just because I don't hear you.
Okay. We will pull up and get you a new phone. Okay, so the first card I'm getting for you is the Fool card, which doesn't mean you're an idiot, far from it. The Fool card is when we're about to take a journey into the next part of our life, but it's outside of our comfort zone, hopefully. Because sometimes we think our limitations are our identity, and they're not. When I decided that my identity was not to be a flaky person, that I was bigger than that, I suddenly wasn't flaky anymore. So I feel like you're thinking of taking a risk that you sort of need a permission slip to take. This could be in work or romantically. Would you like me to give you a permission slip?
Sure.
Here, permission slip. There's a couple of risks you want to take. The thing about the Fool is that the little dog is the guy's intuition, and the guy's stepping off into space, but like Indiana Jones in Temple of Doom, I love that. He is actually stepping onto solid ground. Kids, don't try that at home, but try it emotionally. Your next card is about work. So this looks like you had or recently had a day job that you've sort of outgrown. I'm not sure if you felt It was great and pays the rent, but I'm not sure you felt you could bring your heart to work. I mean, you don't want to leave your heart
Right.
at home in a jar of formaldehyde. That would be bad. And I feel like there's some things you're thinking about doing that are outside of your comfort zone. But sometimes just make one phone call or send one text or one email in the direction of what you want. People are so ready to give you what you want right now. I mean, you're in a very special place. Yeah, because I don't really say that often. Because, and by the way, if you at home are seeing or hearing this, you're meant to hear this too. It applies to Angela, but synchronicity is an amazing thing that's like meaningful coincidence. So, my darling Angela, my little Aries, this is the Wheel of Fortune. When I first got this card, when I was first reading for myself, I had been like down and out for a little while. And it wasn't, I was living in Greenwich Village in New York City, but my bathroom was in the hall. So, and I had just been striking out and striking out and striking out, and I got this card over and over again. Oh, Amy in Wisconsin will be with you in about 2 minutes. And this card means that essentially your luck was not so good. I would use a different word beginning with SH and ending in Y, but this is TD. And suddenly, this is a sudden turn of fortune. This card has an expiration date for the next, let's say for the next 6 weeks. You have a green light, girl. Take advantage of it. Really do.
All right.
And then the last card is, this looks like a terrible card, and it's actually a great card. It means somebody, specifically a woman, who maybe has identified as a victim in the past, but is ready to lean to the right or left. She's cutting her bonds on the swords that seem to be holding her prisoner. They're not. And she's blindfolded because she's supposed to rely on her six. So, my darling, I hope that worked for you. Tune in next week because I'll tell you all about your Chinese year. And I just thank you, darling. Call back soon. All right, darling. Who is next? Oh, Amy. I love that name.
Hello.
Hi, my dear. Welcome. Where are you calling from?
Peri, Wisconsin.
Oh, I love Wisconsin. Love the people, too. Love the cheese. Okay, tell me your birthday. That's how I connect. Darling, can you tell me your birthday? That's how I connect with you.
10/24/1976.
Oh, cool. 10/24. So you're Scorpio, right?
Yes.
Sorry, I spent a lot of time in Europe where they do it backwards. It'd be like 24/10. So it takes me a minute. 76 minus 12 and 64. So you're year of the dragon. Damn. Oh my God, you're a Scorpio dragon. Wow. You take no prisoners, is my guess. You're also a force of nature, and that's not a guess. So what would you like to ask tonight, my angel? I think you have a very specific question. And remember, you're very anonymous here. So you can ask anything.
Career-wise.
Okay, I'm not sure that was the first question, but we'll go with that. All right, you're feeling stuck at work. This card is specifically like you're trying to decide whether to go or stay, and you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and that usually doesn't work, and it's not this time. You're good at everything you do. You have very high standards for yourself and everybody else. Keep them high. I like that. So, is that correct? You're stuck at work, but there might be a time in the past when you left a job a little too early and you wound up regretting it, which is what you're worried about. That's this card right side up would be you regretting leaving a job, or you worry that you're going to regret it. Get a new job first. Get out of that one. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Am I on target, or does this mean that you want to switch department? Because you are feeling stalemated.
No.
Yeah.
I left the job like
8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't regret that,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm in a different job where I'm like, what's going on? Meh.
Yeah. Yeah. You're faking it really well. And half the secret of life is showing up. And the other half is fake it till you make it. Because it's called something fancy. It's called the Kantian imperative. And it just means act as if. So you think you're in over your head, nobody else does. You just have very high standards for yourself. So act as if you know everything. And meanwhile, I think you might want to look for a job that's a little more, you don't have to do this immediately, but it's a good time for you right now too, because you're a Scorpio and this is Pisces, and they go together like delicious water and delicious water, except a little more exciting. So this is a very lucky time for you. So start doing a little research.
I mean,
what?
Because I feel like I'm in the, I don't know where I'm at.
That's like best place you can be. Where I don't know where I'm at is where all the great works of art, all the great works of fiction, all the great life changes. Two things. Ask yourself every day, and just really ask yourself, what would the happiest woman in the world do right now? I know it sounds crazy, but I've started using that, and I went like 2 weeks from being like broke and dateless to being totally non-broke and really dating awesome. And so ask yourself, what would the happiest woman in the world do? Take a minute, be like, oh yeah. The other thing is for you, I'm going to ask you an interesting question. What do you do? Oh, maybe I'm not. Quickly, for everybody, 4 minutes, okay. Quickly, what do you do when you're putting off doing something else? So if you're putting off doing something else, what do you do to stall? Just tell me one thing. Yeah.
I buy crystals.
Awesome. I thought there was some intuitive in there. Yeah. And I think
like I'm getting into spirituality and crystals now. Like a lot. Like it just,
that's great.
I don't know, came to me and just started doing all this with spirituality and crystals. I'm trying to find myself.
You're already there. Just keep looking. And because in the same way that sometimes the greatest songwriters don't know it when they've just written their best song, when we're in a real place of growth, we feel a little lost because you've outgrown your old ways of being that didn't work for you. And now is this chance to just explore, like, what do I like? To keep a little journal. What lights me up? I mean, I went to Goodwill today, and it feels
like I get into it and then it just stops.
Oh, that's normal. It's hard to keep up momentum. So what I've either got an assignment for the week, and you can get in touch with me. Oh, I hope this works. Is this going to show up the right way?
Me too.
Can you guys see this? Yeah. Can you see this? It says Peri, Lyons here. Oh, not this backwards. And I did it backwards because I thought it would show up backwards. All right. Luckily, I was wrong. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I feel lost.
Okay. Peri, Lyons here. If you just type that in, my website will come up. I'm going to be.
What's that?
And you can. If you type in Peri Lyons, PeriLyons here, HERE, I'm going to be giving a free 3-week seminar on just exactly what you're talking about. When you've lost yourself, that's when you have the best chance of finding yourself, because all the stuff you learned that wasn't right for you has fallen off. So you're like this beautiful flower that's never bloomed before. It's like, what's this? Is this a garden? Is this safe? So please get in touch with me. Peri Lyons here, Peri, like periwinkle. Lyons, like but with a Y. And I'm going to be teaching a free course starting tomorrow. And it's to get more viewers to my Moonstruck channel, to bring attention to the fabulous Moonstruck channel, which is so great. Angela, you're my cherished duckling. I'll talk to you soon. I love everybody who calls in and everybody who doesn't. Come back next Wednesday, live, Peri, Lyons, New York City celebrity psychic, here on Moonstruck and A1R Radio at 9 p.m. EST. Yes! I'll be 30 more seconds, so I'm going to sing you out. You opened heaven's portal and made life sweeter for this mere mortal. And that's pretty much all we got. So remember, ask yourself, what would the happiest woman in the world do? And start picking up. Bye.